Man, I'm just gonna start this video by saying I'm really impressed with this. Kabuhay everyone, Marches here. Welcome to the channel, and today I'll be giving you my performance review of the Air Zoom GT Cut. So let's get started. A lot of you have been asking me and are really excited on the performance of the Zoom GT Cut, and I've been playing with these non-stop. So let's just get started with the upper of the Zoom GT Cut. First up is of course the upper. The upper is made out of this thin mesh that is very reinforced in some areas where you need durability and support. For example, on the lateral part of the forefoot and on the tip of the forefoot, and also on the medial side and on the heel part of the sneaker where you need that durability and support, where your high strike areas are. So they really thought it through, and on the areas that you don't need that much reinforcement, it is very soft, it is very thin, it's very comfortable, especially on the mid part of the upper. And as for support and durability around the toe area, man, it's one of the most supportive sneakers that I've ever worn. Seriously. Like on my unboxing, I was comparing it with the Zoom Freak 2 and I wasn't wrong. It really fits and supports like the Freak 2, wherein your foot doesn't go anywhere, especially when you're doing lateral cuts. You feel very contained and very stable in the sneaker. It's a really good feeling, especially if you're a very shifty player, because you feel very confident on the sneaker that you won't slip on the footbed and there's no delays in your movements. And that's the impression that I got from the GT Cut, and I'm really impressed in terms of support, responsiveness of the upper of the GT Cut. And as for this foam back mesh on the top of the toe area, it's just for design and some ventilation on top. These are really holes and it gives extra ventilation to the sneaker. And speaking of ventilation, the sneaker is not too hot, it's just on the average. Plus the tongue helps. It also has holes for added ventilation. And speaking of the tongue is also very well padded. It's very comfortable, no discomfort, no distractions at all. And like I said on the laces, it's really premium. And what's nice about it is it doesn't loosen up. So once you tighten it, it doesn't loosen up while you're playing, which is really good. Which is really good in terms of performance. And moving on to the heel part of the sneaker, where your Achilles and ankle is very well contained with this padded heel. It's very comfortable. At the same time, lockdown is amazing. I mean, really amazing. Your heel won't go anywhere. The support that you'll be getting on the heel plus ankle protection is really good on the GT Cut, given that it's a low cut sneaker. You're very well contained around the ankle. Just make sure you get the right size. And speaking of support, another part of the sneaker that really helps out in the support, like I mentioned, that is quite similar to the Zoom Freak 2, is of course this plastic piece that goes up and really hugs your foot in the forefoot, and it goes to the back part and also contains your foot. It gives you extra containment there. So even on the midfoot to the back part of the sneaker, you feel really contained. And like I said in the beginning, the highlight of the sneaker is not just the cushioning side, but the support that you'll be getting, especially around the lateral part, and the containment of the sneaker is off the chart. I mean, from the forefoot to the heel, that's the main thing that I'm really impressed with the GT Cut. You feel very fast on the sneaker because there's no delays in any of your movements. You feel very responsive, you feel very fast. And as for the ease of wear of the GT Cut, since it's a low cut sneaker and it has a traditional tongue, it's very easy to loosen it up and put your foot in instantly. There are no delays. And now let's move on to the cushion part of the sneaker, where a lot of you have been asking me after playing with them, how does it feel? Well, man, it's really amazing. Don't get me wrong, but there are lots of amazing cushion setup. But for a low cut sneaker that is very close to the ground, I would say the cushion setup that you'll be getting from the GT Cut is the best by far. So by far, guys, don't quote on me. There might be a sneaker that's coming out in the market maybe in a week or two, but by far, for a low profile sneaker, man, the bounciness that you'll be getting from the full length straw of the GT Cut. You will really feel it. Like I said, when I was just walking around with this, I felt it. Maybe it's my weight. I'm 180, I'm 5 feet 10 inches. So take that as a reference. And it's really bouncy on the forefoot for a very low profile sneaker. Plus the bonus that you'll be getting out of the cushion of the GT Cut is of course the drop-in React insole, which feels really amazing. It's life-changing, guys. I'm not exaggerating on that. They should be doing this setup in all the sneakers. They can just vary it from the thickness of the React, but like right now, it's the best cushion setup for me. Sorry for repeating that, but I'm really impressed with the cushion of the GT Cut. The React drop-in insole really gives you extra bounciness in the forefoot. Like the Zoom Strobel is not enough. It still gives you that impact protection that you need in the forefoot when you're landing, especially since it's a very low profile sneaker or a low to the ground feel sneaker. You won't feel your foot hitting the ground hard. You will feel the impact protection plus the bounce immediately. It's a must try, guys. It's a must try cushion setup. In terms of performance, you will be liking it because of the upper. Since the upper is very supportive already, plus the cushion setup is very low profile, that really makes a sneaker very fast. And by far, I think this is the fastest or most responsive sneaker that is out in the market because of the combination of the cushion, which is really low to the ground, plus the support that you'll be getting from the upper. And if that's not enough, the heel part also has a very nice impact protection for a very low profile sneaker. And the parts that you will be thanking for that is of course the extra zoom unit in the heel, which gives you extra bounciness and impact protection aside from the React insole and the full length Strobel. Like I've said, there's a lot of sneakers like the KD13s, the LeBrons, that has a very nice cushion setup from Nike, but they're higher off the ground. But with this one, comparing it with maybe a Kyrie or a PGs that are very low to the ground, this is by far the best. Trust me on that. And that doesn't stop there. And of course, another thing that's really important to me in terms of performance is of course the traction. And the traction of the GT performed really well. And I think it's one of the best tractions out right now in the market because I played with them in a clean court and on a dusty floor, and they still grip amazing on the floor. And it bites really hard and there's a squeak to it if you're into that. And before I made this video, I was inspecting the rubber compound, the material, if there's fraying in any areas, and they still look like new after several wears of the Zoom GT Cut. It's like brand new, guys. Although I haven't played with them outdoors, I think outdoor hooping will be okay on the GT Cut because on how hard the rubber material of the traction of the GT Cut is. But if there's one thing that I wish that they added on the GT Cut is a stability plate or a carbon plate that is longer. I'm not too sure if there's one. You may see this plastic piece, but it's not a stability plate. It doesn't give you that spring back that you want. I just wish that they use a harder rubber here to also make it a stability plate and will give you extra spring back, especially when you're running up and down the floor. But who am I to complain? I think for that feature, Nike will be putting it in the GT Run, the other brother of the GT Cut. So I guess you can't have it all, but I'm really happy with how the GT Cut performs, and surely this will be always in my bag or as a backup sneaker. As for dust pickup, like I've said, I played yesterday on the dusty floor and still looks very clean. There are no signs of dust stuck in the traction. And as for the sizing of the Zoom GT Cut, like I said in the beginning in my unboxing, regular footers go true to your size, and of course, wide footers, that is a little bit tricky. It's better if you try them in store if you can, because it's really snug, especially around the forefoot area where you don't see any space on top of your foot. So you have to watch out for that. Plus, even on the side part, you can really see how snug the materials or how it will really hug your foot. So I think that also helps out in the responsiveness of the sneaker, but sadly or unfortunately for wide footers, you have to try them if it will fit you comfortably. And as for the lateral outrigger, although there's no lateral outrigger, but the plate and the traction really goes out on the lateral side especially, and the base of the forefoot is really wide. If you haven't watched my comparison video of the GT Cut with several other sneakers, you should, because you would really be impressed on how wide the forefoot of the GT Cut. It's usually wider than the other sneakers that I thought are wide already. The stability of the GT Cut is really good because of how wide the base is, plus it's really low to the ground. And as for the heel-to-toe transition of the GT Cut, it has a nice curve in the forefoot for running, and it's a little bit curved on the forefoot too. So if you want to do shifty moves, you will have the chance to react fast. As for the pricing of the Zoom GT Cut, it is 8,700 pesos. So that's around 170 US dollars. So it's quite expensive for a low profile sneaker. This is a must have in your collection, plus the traction is really consistent. You will never go wrong in investing on the GT Cut. This is not a paid endorsement from Nike. I'm just giving my honest review on how I love the GT Cut. And I'm waiting for the GT Jump and the GT Run to come out. I'm really excited to test those. So hopefully they'll come out soon. So guys, let me know what you think about the Zoom GT Cut. And if you have this, let me know what you think about this sneaker. And hit me a comment down below. I hope I help you guys out on your questions on the Zoom GT Cut. Thank you again for dropping by the channel. This has been Marches once again. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.